out there. My name is Laolu Akonde, and you are on to Inside Sources. But first, here is my take for the day entitled, How Nigeria Can Avoid Further Global Reproach on the Killings. Many Christians in this country have seen a pattern of killings which strongly suggests people are being killed for reasons related to their faith. There is no point for us to deny that. As one of the brains behind the formation of the Christian Association of Nigerian Americans in the United States in 2012, I personally related with several of such Christians whose relatives were killed as stated by their murderers because they were Christians. Here is an example of one of the victims in a video.
Say, it's okay. Are you a Christian? I say, yes, I'm a Christian. Say, Habila, why we are preaching the Islamic way of gospel to you? You refuse to accept Islam. And I told them that I am a Christian. I am a Christian. Say, Habila, you can deny your faith in order to be safe. I say, no, I am a Christian. Say, Habila, do you mean you are ready to die as a Christian? I say, yes, I am ready to die as a Christian. One of them tried to fire me. The leader stopped him. Say, Habila, you are a good man. We know your history. Habila, you have opportunity to live. Only if you can deny your faith. We can leave you, you can live. I say, no. I cannot deny my faith. I am a Christian. Say, Habila, I will give you last chance. Are you ready to die as a Christian? I say, yes, I'm ready to die as a Christian. Before I close my mouth, one of them fired me through my nose. This is the entering plate of the bullet, where the bullets enter through my nose.
But it is also true that non-Christians, and more specifically several Muslims, have also been victims. Some accounts even say there are more Muslim victims. So both Christians and Muslims are in fact victims of these killings, perhaps for different reasons and different motivations. Now, the US President, Mr. Donald Trump, has gotten personally involved in not only pushing the narrative of a Christian genocide, but imposing punitive measures on Nigeria, such as the designation of the country as a country of particular concern. Under US laws, such a designation is for a country responsible for particularly severe violations of religious freedom. And this is not just one religion, any kind of religious freedom under the International Religious Freedom Act. Even after that designation, Mr. Trump is not relenting. He has made two controversial social media posts on Nigeria in a gap of 48 hours. You don't know what is happening next. But the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, responded to the first post, which announced the designation. And his media aides are now saying that the meeting between President Trump and President Tinubu is in the offing. Now, that is good news. But the president must start here at home, that is President Tinubu. His work begins with the Nigerian people. He should try to work to bring Nigerians together on this issue. And then President Tinubu should be more decisive in ending some of these dastardly, despicable acts of violence that is taking people's lives without cause and very, very wickedly. As a people, Christians and Muslims and all other faiths, we can play down the divisive rhetoric so that we can build a national consensus around how we can end these killings generally. These are wrongful killings, violent behaviors, and wickedness in whatever shape or form, and we can all agree on that fact. And then the president should give the security agencies the matching orders to compel peace in this country and end all of this violence all over the place. the president should announce drastic measures in line with what he told the new military service chiefs on Thursday, that Nigerians won't take excuses anymore. The president should insist, and he should give the security chiefs timelines to deliver. As a government, the federal government and all its arms and agencies, they should end all these contradictory, conciliatory approaches in handling terrorists and bandits. The federal government can start by demanding that those terrorists and bandits and insurgents who want to pull down their weapons, they can do so now. And then when the time for such elapses, the federal government, using all its force, should go out on a thorough onslaught against the bands of terrorists, insurgents, and bandits in Nigeria. If the federal government can set on this line of action, then all of us should join, and we will chorus it and say to the Americans and Mr. Trump that he should calm down. Now, we should observe the changes in the way we are dealing with the killings. I am aware that Nigerians in the U.S. are coming together on December 1 in Washington, D.C. to rally in the premises of the U.S. government agencies to cry out on the killings. I see no reason why the federal government and those of us in Nigeria, how we cannot act now. I'm saying that we can act now before that rally to showcase a national consensus and to say, all of us together, government and people, that enough is enough. And so this is how to prevent any further kind of punitive or diplomatic measures against Nigeria from the Americans, who seem bent on taking further steps against us and against our government, because they perceive Christian genocide and they seem set to go after that. In any case, the governor of Plateau State, the third chief, they have both said that there is genocide in Nigeria. And so it makes no difference whether they are Muslims or whether they are Christians or whether they don't even believe anything. They are Nigerians. Let us end the killings. Let us end it now. And yes, we can. And there you have it. Inside Sources. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, I am opening the show with a conversation with the immediate past president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, His Eminence, Reverend Supo Ayokunle. Your Eminence, you are welcome back to Inside Sources.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you, Reverend, you were the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, and this issue of Christian genocide has been on as a narrative from a lot of the Christians, both here and especially in the United States. Now, the U.S. president has come in a very heavy way. So I wanted to ask you, what is your immediate response to the statements of Mr. Donald Trump, the president of the United States of America?
Well, thank you, moderator. I have a very mixed feeling. Mixed feeling because that was a very sad development for our nation. We shouldn't have allowed that insecurity, the wanton killings of innocent people, to have gone for so long in our nation. What were we waiting for up till now? Are we saying that they have not killed enough for other people to see it as genocide? For the past 16 years, in 2009, we have been battling with Islamic fundamentalists, killing and maiming people. And, when I was president of Christian Association of Nigeria, I was almost on the news every day shouting and crying because of what my eyes were seeing. Innocent people being buried like that, government after government, with hope that this thing will be nipped in the bud to no avail, without any result. So why did we, allow ourselves to be found in this place where we have found ourselves? And we cannot call the statement from the American president as a joke. or somebody that is talking like somebody is ignorant and doesn't know what he's doing. You know, it is not here that they just put people in government without doing the background check. So that man knows what he's doing. And there are some people that cannot continue to just sit in hope that this bloodshed will be stopped. And it will be stopped years after year and it not stop and they will not talk. Why did we get ourselves to this place? Why didn't our government nip this matter in the bud before now? This is the very sad development for our nation because number one, ranking Nigeria among the nations that of particular concern in terms of religious freedom is a bad label. It's not good for us because of its implications. Certain aids may not come, certain military assistance may not come again, and this is a country that is not manufacturing major military hardwares. We depend on other nations, especially on United States of America. Why did we put ourselves in this place? To the extent that the man tagged Nigeria a disgraced country. Is that a good label? And the burden of responsibility is on our leadership. And we have also been crying and saying that if centralizing the security is not producing results, let's decentralize it. Why can't the government act, very quickly, promptly to address this matter? Innocent souls. There are some people that cannot cope. Just sit down and be looking at innocent life being wasted, as it is being done in Nigeria. And be patient. Government is working. But when shall we see this thing nipped in the bud? No matter what anybody is reading in today's situation that we find ourselves with America, we caused it. If we stop the bloodshed today, America will not say what they are saying. Let's stop the bloodshed. What is hindering us? If you say it is not religious and the classification is wrong, is it good for the bloodshed to continue on economic basis or political grounds? Why can't we nip the killing in the bud? The souls of the people that died, really, they are so smarter. And this is what we are saying. With this labeling now, this country who will come and invest in a nation that is now going to be flexing muscle with America. It's like our country is not stable. And we know that. How many of us can travel a long distance from his house on road and we not fear we will not have the fear of vanishing, being kidnapped, being taken away, every ransom being paid? We are paying it because we had no alternative. Otherwise, just waiting on government promising that they will come, they will just snub life out of that person. We have lost people thinking that security people will intervene. We have lost people. And we cannot continue to be running the nation like this. It is the responsibility of government to provide security for people. And with this, we have not got. Most of these people in government also, how many of them travel on road by now? They fly. How many of us can afford flying all the time as they are flying? If they are not also using the government money, will they be able to afford flying as they are flying? Let's make our roads safe. The wretched of the earth are the people being kidnapped on the road.
Mm. Okay.
We must put an end to this madness.
Clearly.
In the name of God, some people will just write us up and be killing people. Which God? Which demonic God is that?
Mm.
That we tell them to be killing others.
Okay.
I am just sad when people say it's not genocide. What level will the killing reach before you know it's genocide? What level? What level?
Yeah. Okay, Reverend. Quite a few issues to break down. So President Donald Trump, in a gap of 48 hours, made two very significant statements on this matter. The first one was the one where he designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And then, I think about 24 hours later, he even said that he had given instructions to the Department of War, which used to be the Department of Defense in the USA, to look at the option of actually coming to Nigeria to wipe out the terrorists, guns blazing, like he said. What do you think about that? Do you want the Americans to come and do what the president said he has asked his Department of War to consider? That is coming to Nigeria to take care of the situation. What's your response to that, Reverend?
No Nigerian wants that. And it is a shame to us. If others will be so concerned that killing is going on every day, are we going to say that killings are not going on? And they are expanding their territory. More terror groups are developing. From the north now, they have almost taken over the entire country. They are in Kwara now, they are in Ondo State, even in Osun State. What remains of the country now? Don't we have government? Is that the way we will be sitting and blood will be wasted on human grounds, moral grounds? Some nations can no longer be waiting on our government to be promising without delivering that they will bring an end to this matter. Let the president of Nigeria please reach out to Donald Trump, reassure him, and if there is any help that the government needs from the American government, let them request for it. They should not wait and allow the American government to bring their troop here. Once they come here, it may be difficult for us to tell them to go. So we don't want another imperialism. Let our government not chipping out the threat or wave it off. If we cannot wave off the Boko Haram, the Iswa, the Lakurawa, and the bandits, if we can wave their threats off and their trouble so much, can we wave off the threat of America to bring the troop down? By the way, will you know the time when the troop arrives and when they go? With their own technology. Don't play them, don't dare them. Let the government, our government, reach out to the American government. Let them talk out to act, and let our government request for any help, assistance they need. What Nigerian wants is that, what the Nigerians want is that this bloodshed is brought to an end. It's not the issue of whether it's genocide or no genocide. We know that it's genocide to us because it is the Muslims killing us, Muslim fundamentalists, and we don't deserve that. What are they killing us for? What? Okay. They said it initially, as I said in my interview about a week or two ago, that if they have not come out initially with the agenda that they want to replace Western system of government with Islamic, the Sharia in Nigeria, and if they have not given, they haven't given threat to the Christians in the north to vacate the north, if they haven't said that anything on Islamic and anything that is Muslim critic, they are going to wipe away. If they have not said that, nobody will say that killing of Christians is a genocide. But that was the background they were coming from. And they have not come out to say any other thing. As I told you the other time, the split between, of Boko Haram into two was because when Muhammad Yusuf died and Abubakar Shekau took over, he was killing both the Christians and the Muslims. And Boko Haram split into two. Some said, no, the agenda is to kill Christians, not to kill Muslims. So Israel came out, and they were killing Christians alone. But Shekau and his men continue killing both. So even with that, the original intention is to wipe away Christianity because they see Christianity as an ally of Westernization or Western structure. They wanted to wipe away government because it was Western education, wipe it away, wipe away the church, wipe away the Christians. Are we infants? Didn't we hear ourselves? So that was the basis, and that is still the basis by which we are saying that killing of Christians is a genocide. Okay. Because it was deliberate, it was intended from the beginning. And they have not changed the idea. Okay. The killing of Muslims is an unintended consequence. Though it is very bad, it's unexpected. Muslims killing Muslims, economic interest has also entered it, we know. Political interest has entered it, we know. But who is to address all these things? Is it not the government? Is it not the government? In Yoruba adage, the Yoruba people say, Akuku joye, mi okalulo. If you are not in charge, it is better for you to be in charge and not be in charge. These people must be wiped away. Enough is enough. After how many years of waiting in hope, many people have died innocently. And investors cannot come here with that type of development. We are beginning to see signs that things are changing with the economic policies of the government. But if this insecurity of Mr. President, but if this insecurity continues like this and it keeps expanding without us being drastic about it, I mean, I don't think we can blame America for waiting for good 16 years for the government to do the needful without doing the needful. Will they wait until they are finished and they are killed everybody? So America is not our problem. We are the problem of ourselves. And our government to rise up to this challenge is a wake-up call to the government to do the needful.
Okay, thank you. I still have 2 or 3 more questions, to dig deeper further on this matter. For instance, one of it is the question of people say that, look, this was how the Americans started when they were going to go to Iraq. And they got there, messed the whole thing up, and the situation even became worse. People have also argued that, this might be a move to control some of the, resources that Nigeria has, which the Americans have quite a very significant need of. For instance, some of our solid minerals, lithium and all of that, that their attempt is to cause a little bit of trouble, more trouble, and get their hands on the ground so that they can control the resources. I want you to respond to that kind of a speculative argument, Reverend.
People think they just speak like infants without logic at times. That statement is illogical. Did America just go to Iran or Iran, whatever you call the city, the nation? Iran gave them opportunity to come in because of their irrational acts, irrational behavior, attacking others, joining other nations to provoke trouble in another country. And also here, are they not causing trouble? This one Islamic faction that is causing trouble in Nigeria, with which government has problem. Is it not linked with Iran? Iran gave the opportunity for America to come in. Why didn't America go to any other Arab nation and do that? If you have created the loophole, don't blame another person. If massive killing has not been going on for the past 16 years in Nigeria, unstopping, will America have opportunity of saying they want to come in? Is America accusing us or about to take action on what is not happening in Nigeria? Did they cause the attack of Islamic militants? They didn't. So that, to me, that I've read that in the newspaper, is totally unreasonable. If you have done logic in the school, in the university, you know that it's not logical. Is America talking out of nothing? Did we not give America the opportunity or a loophole to explore? What we are saying now is that we can close all the loophole. Don't let us allow that to be there again. Let those in charge act promptly and quickly. The killing that you think is local, with the statement of the American president, it means that it has gone international. And the body of responsibility is now on our government because the whole eyes are watching them. Is there going to be, and I know this government did not cause it. And let me also say, without being political, you know me, the way I talk.
Yes.
This government didn't cause it. This government is not partial about treatment of Christians and Muslims. They have been trying as much as humanly possible to have a balance. But for how long will the terrorists continue to expand and be killing people? The souls of the people they are killing matter a lot. And governments should wake up, do the needful. If they need help from outside, don't let them request for it. We should not allow the foreign nation to force their way into our country. If we have fired them, we have find machinery to come and help us, there will be an agreement we sign with them on when they will come and when they will leave. Is for what Nigerians want is that put an end to this matter. If you don't put an end to this matter, it will further divide this nation. Not only along religious lines, it may also divide us along ethnic lines and also hamper our economic development. All the efforts of government will may be in vain if the nation is insecure. If American government is saying a nation is insecure, which foreign investor will be able to come here and say the nation is secure? And don't we know that we have American embassy here? They are monitoring everything. They are not lazy people. They are hardworking. They are monitoring everything. They are giving report.
Okay.
Let our government, in humility, reach out to the government of America. Making peace is less costly than allying war.
All right.
I am warning you.
Thank you, Reverend. One or two more questions. I want you to address the issue of what people call the divisive rhetoric by the fact that if we say it's only Christians that are being killed, that itself is insensitive to Christians. There are even claims that there are more Christians that are killed in particular instances when we look at the whole country, the level of despicable killings all over the country. So how do you think that we can push this argument without making it to be divisive of Christians there and Muslims there? What's your take on that, Reverend?
Trump was saying that the killing of any person, whether Christian or Muslim, continuous killing is too bad. But if no other person is responding, he is saying that when you compare the figures of people killed, especially Christians killed, in certain countries where there is no freedom of religion and Christianity is so hated, if you compare the casualties that we have from the side of Christians, that of Nigeria takes almost 3/4 of all the killings. So how do you want them to rank that? Is that not genocide? And I'll ask you the question, if you say it's not Christian genocide, what is it? And when will it become a genocide? You think that it is a genocide when it is only Christians alone that are being killed? No. If the Muslims also know that it's a Muslim genocide, let them speak out that it is a Muslim genocide also. That does not justify that the killings will continue. Both Christians and Muslims should not be fighting, either because the Christians speak out and Americans speak out for the Christians that it is there is a Christian genocide, and then Christians want to divide the nation. Can we say because we don't want the nation to be divided, we will wait until every one of us is killed?
Mm.
Especially when it is the Islamic fundamentalists that are killing us, crossing their own religion to our own to be killing us. Has anybody crossed from our religion to be killing them? That is why you cannot rank it the same way. We are very sorry, we are very sad rather. We are very, very sad that we have allowed, we are trivializing killing. So we be arguing whether it's genocide or not, or that the killing should be stopped. What I was expecting is that anybody with that will speak along this line will say that it is unfortunate that there is Christian genocide, there is Muslim genocide at all, but our government will challenge you, put an end to both. Not that you will be accusing the Christian leaders that are saying, yes, it is true, it's genocide. They have killed a lot. And we don't know the number of people they are still intending to kill. And somebody will be accusing me of not speaking well, dividing the nation. Am I the one that set the people up to be killing people? Or will I not talk when they are killing my people every day, non-stop? Is God glad with this nation for the innocent blood that is being shed every day? Anybody with conscience, will you be arguing on whether they are genocide or not genocide? You are talking of the nation being divided. Is the nation not divided already? The nation is not only being divided, the nation is being devastated. The citizens are being gradually wiped away. And we must speak out against that. We must speak out against that. Which of us, from the Christian and the Muslim side, does not have both members of religion in his or her family? We all have them. We are not fighting. It's because no member of our family has joined the people that will be killing their fellow brothers and sisters in other religion. But some people have started from the north and they are taking over the south as well. If we have people that from outside who want to help us, will you be labeling them? If help had come for us within, will there be need for us to be supporting any outside voice? Let the government do the needful. Whoever wants to help us, is good enough.
Okay.
Whoever wants to help us. The government has not helped us, and the government must help us. The day you put an end to the growing insecurity, that is the day we know that you are opposed to this matter. And mind you, you know that most of the people, some of the people in government, as one governor has said already, some of the people in government are the ones fueling this matter. So they should call themselves, and they know themselves. Let them address this matter squarely and make our government stable to be able to face the problems on ground. The government, the president presently is tackling so many problems of Nigeria from different angles. Enemies are many, but it must be bold enough to address this issue of wanting killing of people. Enough is enough. 16 years is enough to wait in hope.
Right. Thank you so much, Your Eminence, for your very forthright and very courageous point. I will ask you one last question, coming from a comment. I have noticed that we have at least 2 leaders who have spoken to the issue of genocide in their communities or states. For instance, the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, had said that there is genocide in his state. It didn't say, Christian genocide, although majority of the people in the state are Christians. Also, the third chief, who is the head of the Traditional Rulers Council in Benue State, in the presence of the president, said that there is genocide in Benue State, but he also did not use the word Christian. Now, this is my question. When the president was responding to Mr. Donald Trump, he did say that what we have is a problem of insecurity. So I wanted to ask you, why is it that governments don't think that the sentiments of Christians and the Muslims who are being killed, why are they pushing back on that instead of actually saying that, look, help us to solve this problem? Last question, sir.
I think they are pushing back is the reason that they have not been able to nip this matter in the bud. If they have seen this killing as very serious, as genocidal, I think they will have been more drastic about addressing it. But if they will continue to be explaining it away like this, I'm afraid if they will see the killings as being too much to endure for something drastic to be done. Do you need to be arguing whether it's genocidal or not? See many churches leveled, many mosques leveled, many houses leveled, many communities devastated, farmers driven away from farms. All these things our government they are aware of. Why should they be arguing with Christians that there is a genocide of them? The killing of the Christians, are they unaware of it? Or they are behaving as if it didn't matter to them? If they will be, and this is why we may not be able to trust them. If they will be there with treating this monumental killing as if it has not reached the level of genocide, then I am disappointed in them. I'm disappointed. This government, I think what they needed to say that we didn't call this matter. We made the situation grand, but we want to as well the American government with their cooperation. We will nip this matter in the bud. The government is working very hard. Not that they will be looking for somebody to accuse. What do you still want to accuse in us? When you have already, injured us so much. Many of our relatives just died like that. They are just worshiping the law. One mad person is carrying gun about. The government agencies are not able to dictate that before it will get to me or get to us where we are worshiping and snuff out the life of many people. And we are saying we are crying. We should not cry. We should be laughing. Is it a laughing matter? Should we be laughing at that? I'm asking the question, I'm asking the government, when will it reach the level of genocide? When? How many people among us will be killed before we know it's genocide? When will it reach that level? Important question.
Very, very, very important question, Your Eminence, and a very good way to end the conversation. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for your contributions. And we're going to see how it is going to pan out. The president's spokespeople have said the president will be meeting President Trump in a matter of days. So we hope that this matter will be solved.
That's a good development.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thank you, moderator. I'm very grateful for this opportunity.
All right. Thank you, Your Eminence.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. That is Reverend Supo Ayokunle, the immediate past president of the Christian Association of Nigeria. Inside Sources will be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. I'm still focusing on the statements of the U.S. President, Mr. Donald Trump, regarding what he has now also described as Christian genocide in Nigeria. But now we are taking an international dimension. I will be speaking with Mr. Emmanuel Ogebe, a U.S.-based Nigerian lawyer who actually recently won the federal government's Diaspora National Merit Award for his contribution to the development of the law. I'd like to welcome back to Inside Sources, Emma Ogebe. Good to see you again, Emmanuel.
It's a pleasure to be with you again.
All right. So, thanks. Emmanuel, please fill us in on how this campaign, which has been on for a while, how it got the attention and some of those very strong statements from the U.S. president? Because you will recall that this thing has been going on, the advocacy from Nigerians in the U.S. to get the U.S. government involved in this matter has been going on forever. We have never gotten to the point that a U.S. president will come out as strongly as Mr. Trump has done. Can you fill us in on what's changed in the dynamics? Emmanuel.
Okay. Yes. Well, first of all, let me point out that I was involved in the drafting or advocacy for the passing of this bill about 28 years ago. And at that time, we were looking at countries like Sudan. We did not realize that many, many years afterwards, Nigeria's situation would be bad enough to warrant designation. Now, that said, let's be clear. President Trump had actually called out Nigeria face to face with Buhari in 2018 when they met. The difference is Trump asked him nicely, stop the killing of Christians in Nigeria. It was direct engagement. And afterwards, they went back into the White House and they signed a trade agreement. So Trump was able to engage with him to resolve this issue and still do business with him. What has happened? After Trump left, the Democrats came in and they completely stopped an evaluation of Nigeria. And so, of course, when Trump came back, the situation had worsened since the last time that, he complained about it 7 years ago. And unfortunately, instead of addressing the issue, the Nigerian government started denying the facts. You see, when you are accused of stealing the goat meat, your response should not be, who would have stolen that kind of salty meat anyway? Because by your response, you admitted guilt. The Nigerian government, instead of saying, look, we are addressing the issue, this is what we have done, they say, hey, it's not only Christians who are being killed, others are being killed. It's an admission of state failure. And this is why we are where we are now on this issue. But let me point out something very important. Trump has announced the designation, but then the next phase is sanctions. And I want to be clear that the first time sanctions were waived, and this time around it's not too late to waive sanctions. Now, let me just reassure listeners about the threat of military action. Laolu, you were the one as bureau chief of Guardian here in the US who reported exclusively that the US military set up a base in Niger that was covering terrorism in Nigeria. You were the only one in the world to report it. Guess what? Those two bases that America had in Niger are now lost. They were closed after the coup. So America has lost its footprint in West Africa to conduct special operations. So what that has resulted in is that Boko Haram has actually increased its operational footprint and pathology. So the situation is worse. And I have to tell you this, I do not believe that President Trump is going to unleash any attacks on Nigeria for two reasons. One, historically, the US military has been reluctant to fight side by side with the Nigerian government because they don't trust the Nigerian military. And one specific example is when they got intelligence on the location of the Chibok girls in the forest, they were cooperating with the Nigerian army under direction of President Obama. So the US government told the Nigerian army that they would gas the camp where Boko Haram was with the girls and then knock everybody out so that they could rescue the girls safely without exchange of gunfire. After they mapped out this plan, the next thing that happened, when the troops got to the camp of Boko Haram, they saw Boko Haram wearing gas masks. So the US realized that the Nigerian military had leaked the operational details to Boko Haram. This is why the US does not want to work directly with Nigeria with boots on the ground, because they do not trust the Nigerian army. Now, here is what we could be concerned of, and here is what I believe Trump was referring to. An American was abducted in Niger and was brought by the Fulani Islamist terrorists to Nigeria. as they were about to sell him to Boko Haram. That was during the Trump first term. So Trump sent US Special Forces to Nigeria to go and rescue them. But to show you the level of cooperation between the US and Nigeria, Taj Patel then was the one who was to liaise with Nigeria and give Nigeria information that US troops were coming into their airspace. They literally stopped the SEAL team while they were in the air until they got clearance from Nigeria to enter Nigeria's airspace. They arrived in Sokoto, they killed the 6 Fulani terrorists who had abducted the American citizen. They captured one and handed him to the police, and then they flew back with their citizen. What happened then? Trump came and announced it, that we have just recovered Philip Walton in an operation who had been abducted. So why am I giving you this background? A few days ago, another American was abducted in Niger. And what Trump is saying, in effect, is that if this guy ends up being brought to Nigeria again by these Fulanis who abducted him, I will take action. So the likelihood, what he might mean, is that the location where this boy is found will be held liable. So my advice to whoever is in touch with these people, I know that Nigeria's NSA has been involved in ransoming people from Fulani bandits. Let that American that ride out be found and returned peacefully so that there will be no problem.
Well, let's just, for the sake of objectivity and balance, let's say that what you just said about the NSA is an allegation because that office has denied, ransom taking, since it's not here to give a response. But to take your question to the next level, you also will recall, Mr. Ogebe, that it was the first presidency of Mr. Donald Trump that actually facilitated the sales of the military Tucanos to Nigeria, which was prevented before it got there. So clearly, I also don't think that Mr. Trump is playing games. And like you have said, he had also raised this issue informally with the former president. And so it's not as if he's just coming to the issue for the first time. So I wanted to ask you the next question, that what do you say, with this background, what do you say to the conspiracy theorists who argue that the Americans are only interested in the resources in Nigeria, particularly the solid minerals, the lithiums, and all the other stuff that they are in they have a significant need of? What's your response? You are there in Washington, D.C., Emmanuel.
Well, the funny thing is that the United States has more oil reserves than Nigeria. Secondly, President Jonathan told me himself that Nigerian oil is being smuggled into the US, and that he appealed to President Obama to help him investigate and stop the oil bunkering that was illegally going into the US. Now, of course, you know that the US has signed an agreement with Ukraine to have access to their earth minerals. Nigeria is not that critically needed by the US for the US to waste military manpower and resources to take over Nigeria. That is arrant nonsense. Our leaders in Nigeria are already stealing money from Nigeria and bringing to the West and buying houses. So they don't need to do that. But let me make something very clear. And the issue here is this, okay? When we're talking about foreign intervention in Nigeria, let us look at the facts. The people in Northwest Nigeria invited Lakawura, a terrorist group, to come into Nigeria and assist them in fighting bandits, only for Lakawura to come in and become bandits themselves. Let's remember that El Rufai, a sitting governor, said that he traveled out of the country to go and pay off the Fulanis who are attacking Nigeria. And we saw what happened. They ended up moving into Nigeria and creating a terrorist syndicate nationwide. Let's remember that Buhari himself brought in Fulanis in the hopes of, destabilizing the country if he did not win the elections. So when you look at all that has been done by the other side, it's unfortunate if somebody now comes to you and says, try and save your own people from being killed. And you, as a government who have admitted that these are foreigners who are coming in and killing you, are beginning to insult the person that, no, it's not just Muslim Christians they're killing, it's Muslims too. Let me point out something else that's very important to note. Trump has said that he may stop aid to Nigeria. And here's the thing. Remember that Obama and co at a point tried to leverage their aid to say Nigeria must introduce and accept same-sex marriage and so on and so forth. And, Nigerians were upset with them doing that. This time around, it's a very different situation. He's saying, try and stop the killings of your own citizens. So it's not a question of their imposing Western ideologies and theories on Africa. It's a question of saying, save your own lives and value your own lives. So I think, everyone should be rest assured that we will not see a military escalation, but we should certainly at this time begin to take aggressive steps to engage. The sanctions can be waived. The federal government should set up a response team and bring in knowledgeable people like yourself. You were in the US, you know this issue. Bring in Kuka, bring in knowledgeable people. Let's sit down and come up with a roadmap on how to avert sanctions.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. So let's talk about, in your own view, whether we need to have some kind of rallying together of all Nigerians on this matter. Because part of the problem is that you have quite a number of people in our population saying that, what about the Muslims that are also being killed? Some will even come up with the claim that, look, more Muslims are actually dying from the killings, a lot of killings going on in the country. So, in your view, Emmanuel, how can we, pull ourselves together and say that, look, let us treat this as a national concern, as a national emergency, and not something that is meant to divide us like Christians here and Muslims there. What's your counsel?
Yeah, so the issue is very, very straightforward. And anybody who denies that Christians have been a central target and focus of the genocide is allergic to the truth. And you shouldn't play politics with the blood of martyrs, with the blood of God's children. That is unacceptable. Now, here's the fact of the matter. We, as at November 1st, 10 people have already been killed in Plateau State, all of them Christians. First day of November, okay? The week before, 12 were killed in Plateau State, all of them Christians. Let us not deny the obvious. What we're saying is no single person should be killed. But we have a situation where Christians are the primary targets and Muslims are collateral damage. We have terror groups in Nigeria who fight over whether they should kill Christians alone or whether they should kill Christians and Muslims who oppose them or who refuse to join them. Let me mention, something very important. The Nigerian government wanted to send a team to the US to meet with the US Congress. But let me tell you what happened to the last team that came in September. When they got to the US and went to Congress, they were presented a position paper from the US Congress, and they went back. They had the chance to present that paper to the House, debate it, and come up with a response. Nothing happened. When they went to the UK, they told the UK, oh, there's no targeting of Christians. This is just general banditry. Do you know what the members of the UK asked them? One question, and they kept silent. They said, if it is simply just criminality, what about the case of Leah Sharoun? 110 girls were taken from Dapchi. The government of Nigeria negotiated their release. All the Muslim girls were released. Only Leah, the only Christian, was kept behind. How can you say that is purely criminality? So let us not play games. Let me point out that the CPC designation is not only focused on Christian persecution. It involves persecution of Muslims as well. That is why one of the key issues that was raised by Ted Cruz was the blasphemy law. We have two Muslims who are One is on death row and one is on life imprisonment because of debates that they had with people, and they were now condemned as having perpetrated blasphemy and apostasy, and they've been sentenced. These are victims of religious extremism and intolerance. But even with this case of these Muslims who went through this legal process, compare that to Deborah Emmanuel, who I'm showing on this T-shirt. Deborah was a Christian. If they were offended by her remarks, he could have been tried like the Muslims. He wasn't. She was burnt alive. And the people who did it showed their faces on camera, and nothing has happened to them. So we as a country to set up a response, but most importantly, the National Assembly should begin a hearing on the state of religious persecution in Nigeria. And let Nigerians ventilate their grievances, and let this administration address it. I believe that President Tinubu is a political engineer. For him to have overcome all the obstacles he had to achieve this position, he's somebody who is very savvy, and he has the opportunity to resolve it. We want Christianity and Islam in northern Nigeria to be like Christianity and Islam in southwest Nigeria. And if Tinubu cannot do it, somebody who is married to a redeemed pastor, then there's no hope for Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Ogebe. And I share that view entirely with you, that the president is specially positioned to solve this matter just by the point that you've raised, and the fact that in the Southwest, you know, you have the best model of Christians and Muslims and all other...
Anywhere in the world. The Southwest is an example of religious tolerance anywhere in the world.
Yeah. So Mr. President is positioned to actually solve this problem. I'm going to give you one more minute. Can you tell us, so how was this reflected, or is going to be reflected at the International Prayer Day? Please, 1 minute.
Yes. Well, around the world, today is marking the International Day of Prayer for the Persecuted. And here in the DC area, we're going out to pray for Nigerians in particular. And I know that on December 1, I believe, Nigerians are gathering outside the White House to also protest in honor of people who have died. Let me just mention that on Sunday last week, we buried a Nigerian Christian from Ogebe who survived the genocidal attacks of 2012. But he lost 3 sons who were killed by Boko Haram that day. One man. And last week he died and was just buried on Sunday. So we are continuing to see parents of people who died themselves dying. So the collateral effects of the terrorist attack is having second, third, and fourth repercussions. And this is why it needs to be taken seriously.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Ogebe. And we continue to pray, for the souls of the departed. And like we have said in this segment, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has everything it takes to solve this problem. Thank you for coming to Inside Sources, Mr. Ogebe, and thank you for the great work that you are doing in the United States around this issue.
Thank you very much. No.
All right.
God bless.
Yeah. And there you have it, another edition of Inside Sources. Like we always say, Nigeria will prevail. It means that Nigeria will win, partly because we will continue to push the important issues. My name is Laolu Akonde, and by the grace of God, I will see you at the next edition.